good, YouTube community? What's going on? So it just looked like R. Kelly just going to be in court for the rest of his natural life because these people are just continuously coming out of the woodwork to file cases against R. Kelly. Now, if you haven't been paying attention, I don't know how you could have missed it, but R. Kelly has been convicted of racketeering and the Mann Act, and he's due for his sentencing sometime next year, early next year. So in the midst of that, another lawsuit has come out of the woodwork, and basically this is another thing that R. Kelly has to deal with. Now, I haven't been making any videos. I've been I'm really behind on my responsibilities to deliver content to you guys, and I apologize, but I just got so much real life stuff going on that I haven't had a chance to really get in front of the computer and do what I like to do. But I did see this one article, and it just pretty much just blew my mind, and I just felt that I had to come in and comment on this. I'm just going to make it quick and sweet. So I'm going to just give you the summary of what's going on before I even get into reading this. So the summary of, this whole thing is that you have this guy named Kenny Bryant, who's a sheriff in Mississippi, and he's suing R. Kelly and several of his record labels, apparently, for the situation where he was deprived. Allegedly he was deprived of his wife. So, that's the summary. He's basically suing R. Kelly for interfering with his marriage. That's the summary of it all. So I have the complaint. We're going to skim through this complaint, and then at the end of that, I'm going to tell you what I think about all this, right? So in this complaint, he's asking for a jury demand, and then we get into the parties. I'm just going to skip over the parties. It could be some juicy details in there, but essentially, you have Kenny Bryant, you have Robert Sylvester Kelly, which is R. Kelly, and you have R. Kelly's record label, Rockland Records, and his touring company, R. Kelly Touring Incorporated, and then something, defendant R865 Larrabee LLC is dissolved limited liability company, so I don't know why you just suing a dissolved company, and the Bass Productions company. So you get it. He's basically suing everything R. Kelly. So we're going to skip on to the jurisdiction and venue. And this suit goes on to say the venue and jurisdiction are proper in Hinds County as one or more substantial acts and events which cause a subject injury occurs in Hinds County. Furthermore, the defendant committed a tort in whole or in part in the state of Mississippi against the plaintiff pursuant to Mississippi long-arm statute. Mississippi Code ANN, I don't know what that means, section 13-357, and shall thereby be subject to jurisdiction of the courts of Mississippi. Venue in this court is proper because the lawsuit is based on injuries, actions, conducts, and acts, and or omissions which occurred and or accrued in whole in part within Hinds County, Mississippi. Right? So everyone knows if the court doesn't have jurisdiction, they don't have a right to make a decision in the case, and this is their claim to jurisdiction. I may circle back to this, but essentially what they're saying is that these incidents occurred in Mississippi, so therefore Mississippi has jurisdiction. I'm not 100% sure about this. I may double back on this to challenge some of this, but let's just keep it moving, right? So now we get into the factual allegations. The plaintiff, Kenny Bryant, and Asia Childress were lawfully married July 15, 2012. Plaintiff and Childress lived together as husband and wife and cohabited together happily until the wrongful acts of the defendant, which irreparably injured said relationship. Unknown to Bryant, R. Kelly became involved in an intimate extramarital relationship with Childress in October 2012, regularly communing with Childress from October 2012 until present, and has had multiple in-person visits with Childress over the period of almost 5 years. R. Kelly has continued via telephone, text messages, and live visits with Childress in fostering her adulterous relationship, causing her to leave her marriage. R. Kelly is the president of defendant company Rockland Records Incorporated, and Rockland Records Incorporated finance various tools, accommodations, luxuries, goods, and transportation to assist R. Kelly in his liaisons with the plaintiff's wife. Rkelly is a president and defendant of the touring company. I'm just going to skip all this because it's just trying to establish the fact that Rkelly is the owner of all these companies. So we're going to skip through some of this. And then it goes, not there. Let's see. Let's keep it. Okay. Rkelly has used telephone, text messages, and live visits to communicate with challengers in the state of Mississippi to set up and conduct their adulterous relationship in various other places such as Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, and other states in order to lure challengers from the plaintiff. Now, already I see a problem with the jurisdiction because you're claiming that these incidents happen in Mississippi, but then you turn around and in your very own words, you're saying that they had adulterous relationships in other states such as Tennessee, Georgia, and North Carolina, and Florida. So right then and there, you're saying the affair happened in different states other than Mississippi. So if this affair happened in other states, how in the hell are you claiming that you have jurisdiction in Mississippi? So this is some really complicated stuff. I can tell you where they went wrong on this, or where they're going wrong. Where they're going wrong is that they should have filed this lawsuit in federal court under diversity citizenship, right? Meaning the federal courts, they have a lawsuit, they have a statute, they have a statute which allows an individual to file a claim against another individual that basically consists of different states, right? And I'm pretty sure he's going to try to sue for over $75,000, and that's the requirement for a federal lawsuit of diversity jurisdiction. And that's where he should have filed this, right? What page am I on? We're on page 5. So as you can see, he's filing this in the Circuit Court of Hinds County, Mississippi, right? And Rkelly can easily defend himself against this by a small letter, a letter with just a few words. And basically that letter would just say that I'm challenging the jurisdiction of the court because they're saying all this stuff happened in the state of Mississippi. Furthermore, the defendants committed a tort in whole or in part in the state of Mississippi, right? And they're trying to use this on armed statute. So far, from what I've read, I haven't really seen anything that would basically give the circuit court jurisdiction over this case. Now, with that said, we're really early into this, so maybe more stuff will come out. But I can tell you that they have a problem already. They're saying that the relationships basically occurred in other places such as Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina, and Florida, right? But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm pretty sure they're going to come with some claims of some stuff that happened local in Mississippi, right? And then it goes on and says, see, for example, attached text messages between Rkelly and challengers attached here to as Exhibit A. I don't know if we have those exhibits. Anyway, upon further information to believe, challengers had an intimate relationship with Rkelly prior to the plaintiff's marriage to challengers. Oh, hold on a second. Upon information and belief, challengers had an intimate relationship with Rkelly prior to the marriage of challengers. Now, I don't, and I'm going to be upfront with you. Typically, when I read these cases, I do a lot of research into some of these issues before I actually speak on it. And I like to come with the facts. And here, I'm just going to tell you up front, I can't really come with the facts because I don't know how the law works when you have a relationship with someone before they're married and then you continue that relationship after they're married. So I don't know how that works. I would say if Rkelly had an intimate relationship with childress, then I don't know, before she was married, then I don't know if he would have a right to sue, right? Because if you're marrying someone, you should know whether or not, and I'm just going to say something stupid, so I'm just going to catch myself right here. I don't know if this logic plays out, but you're marrying someone. Yeah, I'm not even going to go down the road. I'm about to say something stupid, but I don't know how this is going to work out. Anyway, Plaintiff was told that the relationship had ended. Okay, hold on a second. I think I may have to say what I was going to say. To the plaintiff's knowledge, it had ended. So here's the thing. You are marrying a person who has their heart with someone else. And they tell you, yeah, it's over. But a grown man knows or should know that if someone is in a relationship or their heart belongs to another person, then a grown man knows or should know not to marry that person until he is absolutely sure that her ties with that other person is 100% done, right? So I'll tell you up front, I'm real bad with romance. I'm real bad with love. And I don't even know how to deal with a situation like that. So I'm just going to ask y'all, what would you do? You are madly in love with a person, but you know that person has been seeing someone else. And now they're coming back and they're telling you that it's all over. What do you do in that situation? Do you just believe them? Do you just take their word? Do you marry that person anyway? Right? On one hand, he probably just took her word. On another hand, he probably just married her in the hopes that things would turn out for the best. Now, I'm just speculating here, right? So I need you guys to keep me honest, and I'm trying to be open-minded about this. So if I'm missing an angle, you guys please correct me and put me back on the right path, right? But that's what it is. He's basically saying, he admits that they had a relationship before he married her, but he was told it was over. My thinking is, if it's over, you need to be sure it's over before you marry her, right? But maybe I'm biased, so that's why I have you guys here to basically keep me honest and to keep me from being biased. So you guys let me know what you think. Do you marry a person if they tell you the relationship is over with the other person, or do you wait? I think the smart thing would be to do is say, okay, well, if it's really over, we're gonna wait a while. We're gonna date, and we're gonna have a solid relationship. But before I put a ring on your finger, we're gonna wait about 2-3 years because I want to be sure it's over. But anyway, however, when Childress attended an R. Kelly concert in October 2012, a few months after the plaintiff's wedding date to Childress and R. Kelly recommenced an intimate relationship. Ain't that a motherfucking bitch? Honestly, I don't see this dude winning this lawsuit. Again, I think these crazy lawsuits, and I'm just going to hold my commentary, but y'all see this. However, when Childress attended an R. Kelly concert in 2012, a few months after the plaintiff's wedding date to Childress and R. Kelly recommenced an intimate relationship. This is a bullshit lawsuit. This is 100% a bullshit lawsuit. Right? Because you're a grown ass man, and you know what? I'm not even finna hate on Kenny. I'm not even finna hate on Kenny because as a man, you get lonely. I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably the biggest simp out there. Because I've been taken for fools lots of times. You know what I mean? I could, me myself, be in this same situation because I'm gullible. I'm just gonna admit it to you. But you see this, I don't know if he has a chance of actually winning this. Because as soon as you married her, she went right back to R. Kelly. So, the problem with this is that you basically married a skank. You know what I mean? I'm not going to call it a skank, but in my personal opinion, you basically married a woman that belonged to the streets. Because as soon as you married her, she went right back. She went right back to R. Kelly. So basically, she's coming to you for security, and then she's turning around and she's going to R. Kelly for romance. And that's the type of guy I am. I'm the type of guy that would end up in this relationship, because I'm the archetype. I'm the type of person who provides, right? I'm the type of person who would be considered a provider. That's my archetype. And I could very well end up in the same situation. I wonder if he had to pay any alimony when they separated. I even wonder more if they actually had kids, because if they did, and he fuck around and had to pay alimony and child support after this, damn, he got taken for a ride. But I don't know that yet. We're just going to continue to read the story. So thereafter, Childress did not have an intimate relationship with the plaintiff from October 2012 until February 2013. Childress was treated for chlamydia during this period. Childress contacted his disease. Oh, Childress contacted this disease from an extramarital relationship with R. Kelly. But to be honest with you, if a woman is marrying a person and then sleeping with somebody else right after she got married, I want to say that this woman is promiscuous and ain't no telling where she got this STD. And then again, maybe she didn't even have an STD. Maybe she just told you that because she didn't want to sleep with you. I mean, shit, you just don't know. You just don't know. Childress continued to carry on an intimate relationship with R. Kelly behind the back of her husband. At one point, even suggesting a move to Atlanta, Georgia, the ulterior motive of which was to foster an adulterous relationship with R. Kelly. Again, you are talking about another state. You're talking about another state, and then you're going to turn around and say that Mississippi has jurisdiction. This case needs to be dismissed right off the bat. I'm telling you right here and right now, this case needs to be dismissed. This says, see Exhibit A for text messages where Childress expressed to R. Kelly the purpose of her move to Georgia. Right? And I pray that we have these exhibits because I think there's some other potential problems with this lawsuit, but I'm just going to hold my tongue and wait and see if we have these exhibits. Childress stated reason for wanting to move to Georgia was for her career. Plaintiff agreed to his wife. Childress stated reason for wanting to move to Georgia was for her career. Plaintiff agreed to his wife's request, quit his job in Mississippi and move to Atlanta. Ain't that a bitch? Ain't that so? You just gonna drop your whole life for one? This lawsuit is stupid already because you just said that right after. Right, guys, tell me if I'm being biased or tell me if I'm missing something here. Comments below. Because you just said right after you started this relationship with after you married this woman, she went right back to R. Kelly. What was that? Less than a few months thereafter? After you married, she went right back to R. Kelly? Where is this thing at? I don't even know if I can find it now. However, when Childress attended an R. Kelly concert in October 2012, a few months after plaintiff's wedding date to Childress and R. Kelly recommenced an intimate relationship. So you married this lady in 2012, and then a few months later, she goes right back to R. Kelly, and this is the person you quit your job for and moved to a different state for? I ain't that stupid. I'm gonna tell you right now. Women have been taking advantage of me my entire life, but nobody can be this stupid. It's impossible. And again, I apologize for calling the man stupid, but you guys tell me what you think. Is this some silly shit or is it not? Right? Anyway, so I done lost my place. Yeah. So Childress stated the reason for wanting to move to Georgia was for her career. Plaintiff agreed with his wife. Dumbass, quitted his job in Mississippi and moved to Atlanta. However, plaintiff was unable to find profitable employment. Yeah, you left a good-ass job as a sheriff in Mississippi. The move to Georgia was financially ruinous for the plaintiff. As a result of her adulterous relationship with R. Kelly, you need to be suing her ass. Why are you suing R. Kelly? Sue her. Sue her for loss of income, loss of prospective income. That's the person you need to be suing. As a matter of fact, is her name on this lawsuit? That's his best move. His best move is to sue her. Shit, because she was on some bullshit when she married him. Need to be suing that bitch. Anyway, I'm all over the place. As a result of her adulterous relationship with R. Kelly, Childress endeavored to live a lifestyle that surpassed her economic abilities and convinced Bryant to aid her in living beyond her means. And I'd have met a few women like that. I remember when I first started working, I first graduated from college, I was dating this one chick, and I was working nights and weekends, and this chick was constantly trying to tell me to, take off this weekend and be with her and do this and do that. And I was like, well, shit, I need money. I need to pay my bills. And she was like, well, you got to live life in the moment. You can't worry about money, this, that, and the other. And I'm listening to this chick, and I knowing damn well she don't even like me like that. She just basically just trying to use me. And she's trying to get me to be irresponsible with my job to spend time with her. I'm like, bitch, please, I'm going to work. Bills got to be paid. I'm a responsible individual, right? And I don't know why that didn't just click in his mind, right? Because you basically living your best life and we're living her best life. You're not living your best life. You living her best life because she convinced you to basically pay for her lifestyle, right? You following her around. And then it goes, each time Rkelly would have a concert in a nearby state, Childers would disappear to unite with her husband. Time after time, Rkelly cock-oded Bryant. I don't even know what that means. Cock-oded. Cock-oded Bryant. What the hell does that mean? Cock-oded. Cuckold. I'm sorry, cuckold. Of a man make another man a cuckold by having a relationship with his wife. Wow. That's what it means. Time after time, Rkelly cuckolded Bryant with a blatant disregard for Bryant's and Childers' vows. See, for example, Exhibit A, where Rkelly instructs Childers to have an orgasm. Bryant tried every avenue to hold his marriage together, but his efforts could not prevail against Rkelly's continued overtures to Childers. Plaintiff would show that Rkelly did reckless and or negligently injured a plaintiff and deprived him of his spouse and her love and aid, support, protection, and comfort, society, companionship, devotion, association, and conjugal affection, and did willfully, wrongfully, and maliciously prejudice her mind against the plaintiff, and did alienate her affections from the plaintiff. You know what? Paragraph 33 is just all bullshit because Childress was never belonged to Bryant to begin with. She was always with Rkelly. So if you're suing anybody, you need to sue her for lying to him, for lying to you. Childress has requested a divorce in order to continue her relationship with Rkelly. No surprise there. As stated above, Rkelly seduced Childress and encouraged their illicit relationship with various forms of communications, including live-in persons, live in-person rendezvous, phone calls, text messages, and some of which were communications were in the state of Mississippi. Some of which of the phone calls, text messages, and their in-person rendezvous were in Mississippi. Some. But the important thing is, what did they actually do in Mississippi? This is a bullshit lawsuit, I'm telling you right up front. The actions caused serious and permanent damages to the plaintiff and his relationship with his wife, Childress. So I'm just going to say right up front that the lady had a relationship with Rkelly up front. You come in the picture and think you finna marry a woman who's in love with Rkelly. How big a fool are you? And again, you guys tell me if I'm being biased, if I'm not being open-minded. But if I meet a little cutie pie that's in love with Young Thug and that's having a relationship with Young Thug, ain't no motherfucking way in the world I'm finna swoop her away from Young Thug. It's just not even gonna happen. Because number one, Young Thug is a motherfucking superstar. So how in the hell you gonna steal a woman away from a motherfucking superstar? This shit just don't make no goddamn sense. Then it goes on, tortious interference with the marriage. The plaintiff reincorporates the allegations in paragraph 1 to 34 as willfully stated herein. Plaintiff would show unto this court that at the time the illicit conduct and activities, Rkelly was aware of the marital relationship and status between Childress and the plaintiff. The plaintiff was entitled to his lawful, naturally conjugal rights and privileges with his spouse, including but not limited to comfort, companionship, society, love, and services, of all of which contribute to the foundation of marriage. Nonetheless, due to R. Kelly's action, Bryant suffered the loss and damage to his conjugal relationships with his wife. And Childress now has requested a divorce in order to continue an adulterous relationship. R. Kelly did negligently and or recklessly interfere with the marriage contract between Childress and Bryant, and did negligently or recklessly elicit and or solicit and then alienate the affections of Childress away from Bryant. Bryant's loss of conjugal rights in society, companionship, and consortium with of to whom his wife was directly approximately caused by R. Kelly's interference and with the alienation of Childress' affection. This alienation of affection caused Bryant severe and grievous mental and emotional distress in addition to financial ruin. This is some bullshit. You're ruined financially because you basically followed a hoe and you listened to a hoe. Reckless infliction of emotional distress. Plaintiffs incorporate the allegations in paragraphs 1 through 37 as fully stated therein. The plaintiff would show that R. Kelly exhibited reckless disregard for sanctity of marriage with his actions, and that the actions of R. Kelly invoked disgust and outrage in civilized society. Furthermore, R. Kelly perpetuated a pattern of conduct that caused foreseeable harm to the plaintiff and deliberately destroyed plaintiff's marriage to Childress. The resulting emotional distress caused by R. Kelly's action was entirely foreseeable and had resulted in injuries and damages to the plaintiff. R. Kelly owed a duty to the plaintiff to use reasonable care and to act prudently to avoid the infliction of emotional distress upon the plaintiff. R. Kelly breached his duty, and he either knew or should have known that deliberately destroying the plaintiff's marriage and family would cause mental and emotional distress to the plaintiff. Conduct was intentional and or grossly negligent and did proximately cause mental and emotional distress to the plaintiff in addition for the aforementioned financial damage. Due to R. Kelly's actions, the plaintiff's wife has requested a divorce, and the plaintiff's relationship with his wife has suffered deterioration beyond repair. Plaintiff has suffered emotional, physical, psychological, and financial loss due to R. Kelly's actions. Compensatory damages. Plaintiff reincorporates and alleged in paragraphs 1 through 41 as is fully stated herein as direct and proximate consequences of unlawful torturous acts of R. Kelly's. Plaintiff has suffered the following damages: extreme emotional distress and past, present, and future mental anguish, loss of companionship, support, and society of Childress, loss of his lawful conjugal relationship with Childress, loss of the income and support of Childress, loss of the wifely comfort and services of Childress, and loss of day-to-day family life relationship with Childress. Attorney's fees and other costs associated with R. Kelly's interference with the plaintiff's marriage to Childress. Then it goes on to punitive damages. I'm not even going to read all this damages and all this stuff because at this point it's just some silly nonsense, right? So here we get to the exhibit. So here's a text message, and it looks like this is for R. Kelly. It says Sylvester, I'm assuming. And she says, I've tried to repress my feelings, but I'm sure they were made evident. I often think of could have, would have, should have, but out of all of that, one thing is certain: my love for you. Daddy, please know that I wouldn't do anything to place you in any harm. I wish you nothing but love, peace, and continuous prosperity. I'll love you always, Asia. Right? And that's Exhibit A. And then he says, come, just say when, Asia. Here we have another exhibit. My prayer is that, who is this for? RSK. My prayer is that I hope this mess that someone else created doesn't affect us. I often pray for you and the ones around you. Damn, these motherfuckers are really crazy about R. Kelly. I have and won't attempt to jeopardize anything about you. In all honesty, I love and care about you. And then she goes, I hope you're having a tremendous Tuesday. I mean, she seems like a really loyal woman. She's just loyal to the wrong person. And then it goes, thanks for awesome experience. Teach. And then get somewhere and call me. Last year, I relocated to Georgia in all hopes of wanting to show you how I am genuinely feeling about you. I can't speak for him, but this is an all-time low for me. I hate this happened. My prayer is that I hope this mess that someone else created doesn't affect us. I hope to pray that you and the ones around you I have won't attempt to jeopardize anything about you. And all honestly, I love and care about you. She really crazy about R. Kelly. Thanks for an awesome experience. Teach. This seems like the same message here, so we're gonna skip that. I can't even read this. Often, I can't even read that. And the rest of it, I just can't read. It's too blurry. Uh, as you can see, he took what I sent you almost 2 years ago. I just describing to you how deep my feelings are for you. I'm sorry to say, but he is upset that those feelings were never communicated to him. And then I hope you're having a tremendous day. And a lot of stuff is just repeated messages. So here's my take and here's my breakdown on this silly ass lawsuit, because this is just some bullshit. So my breakdown on this is that now that R. Kelly has been convicted, what's happening now is that you're going to have people come out of the woodwork with these bullshit lawsuits because they know that they're going to win. And the reason that they're going to win is because R. Kelly is too caught up. He's too invested in fighting for his life that he doesn't have time to even answer silly shit like this. And even if he does turn and answer, these silly ass lawsuits, he's more than likely going to acquiesce or just lay down and let them win, because all of his energy is going to be all his energy and all his money and all his finances are going to be devoted to his appeal, and then devoted to fighting his lawsuit in Chicago, or his criminal case in Chicago federal court, right? And then on top of that, he has another case that's going to be in Illinois State Court. So that's where his time and energy and his thoughts are going to be focused on. He's not going to focus, or he doesn't have to, he shouldn't. He doesn't have time nor the energy nor the money to defend himself against stuff like this. And let me explain why this lawsuit is bullshit. If you guys can't see it, then you probably just blind and stupid, right? Or you just don't have eyes. But again, I like to be open-minded, so if you have something intelligent to say, questions or comments below, and you tell me why I'm wrong. But straight off the bat, they don't even have fucking jurisdiction to hear this lawsuit. And the reason that they don't have jurisdiction is because he hasn't provided any concrete evidence that the affair happened in Mississippi. All he's showing you is a bunch of text messages. Text messages don't give you jurisdiction. This woman could have been anywhere in the world when she was sending text messages. And this is probably something new. But if you're living in Chicago and somebody texts you in Florida, does that give Florida jurisdiction because somebody sent you a love letter? Hell no. Hell motherfucking no. He doesn't provide any concrete dates of when R. Kelly had an affair with this woman in Mississippi. He doesn't provide any concrete dates or timelines of when R. Kelly and this lady had a romantic rendezvous in Mississippi. He is just simply trying to put this case in Mississippi because he knows it's going to drain resources for R. Kelly. And that's why this lawsuit is 100% bullshit. But that's not the only reason that this lawsuit is bullshit. I mean, to be honest with you, it really should just end right there because Mississippi doesn't have jurisdiction to hear this case. So this case should be over just based on that. But there's other telltale signs. You basically married a woman. I want to just call her a hoe, but I can't really just call her a hoe after reading these messages. You married a woman who was obviously in love with R. Kelly, obviously, who is a superstar. And here you come thinking that you finna take a woman from motherfucking R. Kelly. Nigga, have you lost your goddamn mind? You marry her, and then 3 months later, she goes right back to R. Kelly. So the jury gonna be looking at you like a dumbass. They gonna be like, she was never yours to begin with, right? I would have some sympathy for him if he was already married to her for like maybe 5 or 6 years, and then R. Kelly came out of nowhere and put time and effort into trying to sweep this lady off her feet so he can bang her. That's not what's happening here. What's happening here is that this woman was already in love with R. Kelly, and you come along, promise her a hope and a dream, thinking that she finna fall in love with you. But that didn't happen, right? Then on top of that, to make matters worse, you fucking turn around, quit your job as a fucking sheriff, you making bait. You set for motherfucking life. So long as you don't do no stupid shit like shoot an unarmed man or, go and commit a crime, you set for motherfucking life. You leave a job like that to go move to Atlanta with a woman who's married to R. Kelly. Are you out of your fucking mind? Seriously. How in the hell do you think a jury is going to have sympathy for you? So this is all bullshit. And then again, like I said, you don't provide any concrete evidence that R. Kelly basically was dating your wife in Mississippi. So that's another problem. Then the biggest problem out of all the problems that you have with this lawsuit is that you don't provide any evidence that R. Kelly even knew you were married. For all we know, R. Kelly never knew that you were married. He never fucking knew. She married you so she can have security, and then she went to R. Kelly to get dick down. How do we know that she told R. Kelly that she was married? How do we know this? Not that it wouldn't make any difference, but how do we know? So this is why this lawsuit is 100% bullshit. If you guys disagree, if you think I'm not being open-minded, or if you think I'm biased, I want to hear from you. Questions and comments below. Please leave your questions and comments below and explain to me whether or not you think I'm biased, or how I'm biased, or how I'm not open-minded, or just let me know if you agree or disagree with me. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.